If you're ready to take time to heal yourself, take a walk with me. I'm not a big fan of saying that we need to heal ourselves, but this is the language that's gained popularity. It's what so many of you tend to resonate with. The problem with that type of language is that it implies that you're somehow broken. I had this conversation recently with Amy Morin. She's a licensed clinical social worker and author of 13 Things Mentally Strong Couples Don't Do. That's just one of the books that's in the 13 Things series. She was also a guest on the Blueprint Podcast, episode 90. Amy shares a story where she thought she had broken a bone in her leg. But there was too much swelling to be able to make that determination, so they sent her home to try and get some of that swelling down first. But the seed had already been planted, and she stayed off of it for the entire week, which ended up causing the foot to swell even more. So they sent her to a physical therapist, and by the end of the session, she was able to put weight on her foot. The PT said it's swollen, and you actually made it worse by not walking around. And it just goes to show you that the way that we think about things and the meaning that we give to it has a great impact on how we feel. I'm broken. I can't. I shouldn't. You don't understand. I'm hurt. I'm broken. And we allow all those I am statements to tell us and remind us of who we think we are. Well, this is my upper limit, and here's all the reasons why I can't do the things that I really want to do. You go around telling yourself, I'm broken, I'm unwell, and the reality is there was a lot of low-hanging fruit that you could have been doing for yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And this is why the story you tell yourself about yourself is so darn important. It becomes a subconscious program that runs in the background of your mind and impacts every area of your life. Your words, whether used on yourself or others, carries a lot of weight and power. And they can ultimately become all the limiting beliefs that you speak over yourself and others. And those limiting beliefs are the things that stop you from living the life that you truly desire. Your negative belief systems and the way that you think about the world and your place in it can actually inception someone else. You plant a seed in the back of their mind that ultimately becomes their negative self-talk. They hear your voice. You're not good enough, smart enough, or capable. You're different than everyone else, and you're never going to fit in. And once you do some soul searching and create a little bit of self-awareness, you begin to realize that those were never your thoughts to begin with, or your burden to bear. You start to realize that your nervous system was trained on an emotionally immature adult. And you begin to realize that all the pain, heartache, and chaos that you experienced was never your fault. And this can leave you feeling confused, frustrated, and uncertain. You might find yourself asking questions like, who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? And why am I doing it? But if there's one thing that we know, and you can go back into your own personal history, is that throughout life you will have difficult circumstances that challenge you. It can be 6 months from now or 5 years from now, but these situations are often temporary. It's simply a temporary season of your life. A big problem that so many of us experience is that we make permanent decisions based on temporary experiences. We let our emotions run the show and forget to tap into our logic every now and then. I want you to take a moment and think of all the stories and statements that you've told yourself over the years. All the negative and hurtful comments that you've told yourself about yourself. And then I want you to picture a much younger version of yourself. For me, it would be a bowl haircut and chubby cheeks. Would you look down at that version of yourself and annihilate them with all the negativity that courses through your veins today? And that answer is probably not. You'd probably show up with empathy and compassion. You'd meet them with love and kindness and let them know that it's not your fault. And that's really the crux of it all, is whatever you don't work on physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you will pass down to younger generations. And then it becomes their job to deal with your shit and theirs. When you don't feel loved and supported, and when you don't have a spiritual practice, you will seek things out that can only ever bring you temporary comfort. You will also feel like you're missing a connection to yourself, or that you lack a sense of self. You may feel like you're an extension of someone else living their life and not yours. And this is why it's important to do the work physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and make a habit around those things that you do each day consistently over long periods of time. And in doing all those things, you will find the person that you're capable of becoming. You learn to no longer take things personally or to outsource your well-being to people that are outside of you or the world. Meaning somebody else can have a bad day, and it doesn't mean that you have to have a bad day with them. You can have empathy and compassion and not allow yourself to be destroyed in the process. You also find that you just don't take things personally anymore, and that you want to see other people win. You want to see them be happy, healthy, wealthy, and well. So go live your life and recognize that your limits are all your own, and you don't have to live your life imprisoned by them.